Hello, and welcome to week 9. Check it out. The audio's a little louder. The video quality is better. Unfortunately, that means you now realize I don't have the video editing software to do special effects, and that I'm just using fishing line to hold all these up over here. I guess that's the downside of high def. Anyway, better audio, better video. Now it's on me to make a highly polished and carefully crafted video. Or just wing it. Maybe. Look, next week is the Vikings bye week, so as far as this video series is concerned, this is like the Friday of this video series. It's Friday afternoon, cruising into the weekend. This week, though, the Vikings are hosting the Lions, and I will be trying Valkyrie Brewing's Odin's Oathkeeper. You can actually read the labels now. High quality. From their website, Odin's Oathkeeper is a black IPA made with roasted wheat, dark malts, and Wisconsin hops from the Wisconsin Hop Exchange Co-op. It pours pitch black with a thick, dark mocha head. Nice, rich, dark flavors and an amazing dry finish of roasted malts and hops. It is a very well-balanced beer with an alcohol content of 7%. I'm going to be up. Does not sound like my cup of tea or beer. But let's give it a try. Okay. Well, as you can see, yes, it is definitely black. And you can see the mocha head there. It is like coffee. Looks almost like a cappuccino, maybe a little darker on the top. I don't know much about coffee either, come to think of it. Ask me about Diet Dew sometime. That's my specialty. All right, let's give it a taste. See if we can get some of those roasted wheat and malt. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a first. I have found my first beer out of, well, 7 beers and a mead that I don't think is for me. Balanced is a good word, I suppose. It's definitely hoppy, which, I mean, the description said hops like 3 or 4 times. So that makes sense. And it's an IPA. So I'm not surprised. Like I said, I didn't know if this would be for me. I tried not to go into it with presupposing that it wouldn't be good. I could see why someone might like it. It is balanced. I know what they're saying by balanced. It's sweet at first, but finishes quite bitter. If there's one theme to these videos over the last 8 weeks, it's that I don't like hoppy beers. If there were 2 themes, they would be 1, I don't like hoppy beers, and 2, I have no godly idea what I'm talking about when it comes to beer or football. I can say one of my younger brothers tried this and said he really liked it. He also asserted that hoppiness and bitterness in beer is an acquired taste. I can say that I am on the verge of 30 and I have not yet acquired that taste. All in all, I would not call this a bad beer. I can see why people would like it. And I could even see it growing on me a little bit. It's just, I don't think it's for me. But we are on the 3rd Valkyrie beer. This is the first one I didn't like. And as Meatloaf once sang, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. On to today's game. The big story coming into this week, injuries. Start off with the All-Stars. Stefon Diggs is looking less and less likely to play as the week goes on with a rib injury. If Stefon Diggs is out, it's likely that Adam Thielen is going to draw a lot of attention from the Lions secondary. You may have heard this because it's been mentioned a time or two, but Adam Thielen is on a record-breaking pace this year. So far, he's broken the record for most consecutive games of 100 yards receiving or more to start a season, and he's tied with Calvin Johnson, known as Megatron, for most games consecutively at any time in a season with 8. Ironically, Calvin Megatron Johnson played for the Detroit Lions, and they're for the Vikings this week. The Lions have one coverage corner named Darius Slay. The question is, will the Lions put Darius Slay on Adam Thielen? That would seem likely, since Thielen's the number 1 wide receiver, Slay is the number 1 cornerback, but Thielen plays a vast majority of his snaps out of the slot, and Slay seldom slides in to cover said slot. Also, Slay is questionable with an injury of his own, so who knows? The Lions have been susceptible to teams that run the ball. In response, they signed Damon Snacks Harrison from the New York Giants, who has helped out a little bit, but he's only been in Detroit for a couple weeks. And last week, the Seahawks were still able to rack up 150 rushing yards against the Lions. Now, continuing the theme of the unknown effects of injuries this week, the Vikings running back Dalvin Cook has been sidelined with a hamstring injury for several weeks. He's expected to play, according to the Vikings, on a limited snap count this week. He has demonstrated explosive ability out of the backfield, including being involved in the passing game in the few games that he's played, and Latavius Murray has been a formidable backup while he's been out. The games in which the Vikings have had favorable rushing matchups have fared pretty well for them on the ground. The big one that comes to mind is the Cardinals game. I don't think their offensive line is great, but I do think they've proven that they can take advantage of favorable matchups. On the other side of the ball, the Lions traded away target hog Golden Tate. He's now a part of the Eagles. He's had over a quarter of the team's targets so far this year and has been used since his time with the Seahawks, really, as a part of the short passing game. He's gone, which means that now the two very talented wide receivers, the veteran Marvin Jones Jr. and the sophomore Kenny Babytron Golladay, named for his resemblance in his comps to one Megatron that played for the Lions. Both are dangerous, and Stafford has found success passing to both of them. The Vikings' battered secondary, including a very questionable Xavier Rhodes, will have their hands full with those two. Last on personnel, the Lions have Theo Riddick likely returning from injury this week. He's technically a running back, but he's used almost exclusively in third down situations as a passing back. There is a decent chance that the Lions staff, headed by Matt Patricia, tries to use him in a creative way, something like a slot receiver, to fill in the role that has been vacated by Golden Tate. Meanwhile, the Lions' actual running back, Kerryon Johnson, has been having a bit of a breakout year. Hopefully the Vikings' staunch run defense will be able to bottle him up and take the ground aspect out of the Lions' game, and hopefully they're preparing to see some of the things that they might do with Theo Riddick. The Vikings have not played great at home this season, but they were playing the Saints very tough last week, up until that Adam Thielen fumble right before halftime. That just seemed to totally team. But if you go back and watch the game, they were keeping the high-powered offense of the Saints in check, and they were moving the ball really well up until that fumble. The Saints are likely going to be in the NFC Championship game, and the Vikings were able to hang with them and keep it a 10-point game. A missed extra point and a few other things went wrong, a couple fumbles, interceptions, The point is, the Vikings have all the pieces. They just need to focus and put it all together. They really need to win this game, because next week they go on bye, and then they come out and play the Bears and the Packers. That's 3 division games in, well, technically 4 weeks with the bye, but 3 straight division games in a division that's really up for grabs right now. Everybody's within a win or two of each other, and the Vikings can't sleep on a team like the Lions, who have really been up or down. They played great one week and beat the Patriots. They lose to the Jets. They're all over the place. But they have the weapons as well. The Vikings need to keep their eyes open, stay on their toes, and some other cliches. In fact, interesting note, the Vikings have not beat the Lions yet at US Bank Stadium. Hopefully that changes this week, and in fact, I am predicting that it changes this week. The Vikings are going to beat the Lions. I don't know if it will be handily. My heart is telling me they're going to come out, they're going to shut down the Lions because they are tired of losing at home. They got embarrassed by the Bills. They got edged out by the Saints. I think they're going to come out, shut down the Lions defensively, and Thielen is going to struggle, but he's going to get his record-breaking 9th game. I think they'll force-feed him the ball. And I think the running game gets going. I think it's going to be way more Latavius Murray than Dalvin Cook, but I'm getting very specific with my predictions at this point, and I can't even get simple things right, like who's going to win. As I mentioned, the bye week is next week, but tune in anyway, because I will be doing a bye week State of the Vikings address. I'll be reviewing another beer and talking about my predictions for the rest of the Vikings season, including division standings, how I think the rest of the year is going to play out, and my postseason prophecies. It will be as amateurish as these first 9 videos. As always, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I don't know why you do it, but I love doing it. I love seeing the responses. This is a totally stupid thing that I decided to do, but I'm having a blast with it. I hope you're enjoying it too. Skål för det. Go Vikings.